and we're at a museum.
We are actually in a museum tonight, guys. This is ClevelandMoto Podcast, episode number 511. Mini bikes at the museum. Crawford Auto and Aviation. Light them up, boys. Oh, yeah. Well done.
We're museum pieces.
I feel left
Beers
out.
taste better in a museum.
I have nothing to light up.
Oh, my God. Wow, this is cool. So this is the very first annual, the inaugural, if you will, the inaugural mini bikes at the museum. Crawford Auto and Aviation has gone around to all of us idiots in Cleveland that have small bikes, and we have got an insane collection of mini bikes. There's so much history in the room with us right now. I've counted at least 18 bikes that fold. Folding motorcycles.
They'll all fold if you try hard enough.
If you're so
that's been
motivated,
my experience.
you can fold anything. But these are meant to fold, and that's amazing. So we are surrounded by everything. And the crazy thing is I've counted also at least 12 bikes in the room with us right now that you could have ordered out of a catalog
Hey, Uncle Phil,
and had them show up at your house. Thanks to the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. It's super fun, man. Go ahead, Pete.
Uncle Phil, how many of the bikes have you owned personally?
So right now in the museum, I think there's 5 of my personal machines around us right now, 6 if you count the DAX. And so there's 6 bikes of mine in here right now. And then there's 3 other bikes. I'm almost positive I owned that Snow Runner, that Chrysler Snow Runner over there. I think that one didn't make it out of Cleveland. I rode that once, and that was like, no more. It's a bad idea. Yeah, it's really cool, man. This is a really great event. And they were nice enough to let us run the podcast at the event, which is super cool. To my left, I have
Greg Castillo. The
And Greg, how many bikes do you have here in this building tonight?
9.
9!
Mini bike king of
So
Cleveland.
Greg is literally the
Don't
exhibit.
ask how many I have in
Total.
my collection total. Yeah.
I was told
There's
by
just 9
Bagel.
on the-
I was told by Bagel that you have D-1, divorce -1.
My wife is here and she supports me fully.
There you go. It's better than that cocaine habit you had. And to his immediate left, we have.
Johnny Mac.
What did you ride tonight, Johnny Mac?
I just rode the Versys.
Of course you did, because
Yeah.
it's reliable.
Reliable, yeah.
And to his left, we have.
Dan Kromke
What did you ride tonight, Dan Kromke?
rode the Tiger 660.
Tiger 660. To his left,
Nick Clavin,
new Nick, as
Yeah,
we're
new
calling
Nick.
you. Less broken Nick.
Yep.
What did you ride tonight, Nick?
the Honda Hobbit.
The Honda Hobbit, right on.
Yeah.
The spicy one that we saw.
Real spicy.
The super spicy
Extra
one.
spicy one.
And what did Lizzie ride tonight?
Tomos Targa.
The Targa, the top
Targa
tank.
LX top tank.
Nice, very
Yeah.
cool. And behind the boards tonight, we have
Steve, Sleepy.
And Sleepy. What did you show up on?
My mom's Ford because I had I had to come from Summit. I left Summit on a hurry. I did bad things on the highway, but I got here.
Good
So,
man.
Thank you.
You used some of that speeding karma.
Yes.
Excellent. And to his left,
Sean the Falconer.
and Sean has a trunk full of birds.
They are all enjoying the air conditioning right now.
They are enjoying it. No, these birds are not being inhumanely treated.
No, and not the air conditioning in the museum.
There is no air conditioning in the museum. So if you notice a dead 100 hertz hum, it's because of the several industrial fans that are keeping this place
Or
tolerable.
if you notice our shirts darkening and our foreheads.
Dude, I am glowing already.
I kind of feel like I'm back home in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Because it's that freaking hot and steamy in
Oh,
here
this
right
is
now.
how you guys watch movies in Orleans.
Exactly.
Yeah. And to his left, we have
Speedy Pete.
Speedy Pete. I couldn't help but notice there was what on the parking lot today?
Well, I have 2 bikes here. Uncle Dave Nolan rode my Trail 125, and I rode the cross country Honda Monkey.
Yes.
So
The cross country
here.
monkey.
Yep.
That's fantastic. And to his left,
Chris Smith.
now this is a weird one because what did you ride here, Chris?
I rode the Mustard Monkey, cross-country mustard.
But you have another one of your bikes is on the display right here.
It has been sold to Dan Davis. So
Who is
it's
the director of the museum?
Yeah,
Right.
and it is on display.
It's right behind us.
Absolutely.
It's in the camera shot.
cross-country.
Absolutely. That's another cross-country monkey.
That's right.
Fucking awesome. And to his left,
Tim Man Tim.
yes, well, Tim, by the way, for the record, if you need HVAC in Cleveland and you know me, I'm going to give you Tim's number.
I'm going to give the museum Tim's number.
Right?
I was going to say, I think the museum needs it.
Tim, what did you show up on here tonight?
I'm on my K2 Trail 90.
Trail 90 K2. Oh, yeah, I saw it outside. That's pretty rad. Tell the folks at home what you did to that bike because That is a special child.
It's got the Piranha 140 on it, and it's highly modified. I had the wheels rebuilt, the front forks redone. It's got an extra fuel tank with
it sure does.
about a 300-mile range on it. So,
yeah, and you could hide that in the desert.
yes.
Yeah, that bike
it is desert.
It is desert. Yeah, that bike is fantastic, and it's. Go ahead, Sleepy.
I have a question about all this.
One more.
Do we have the record for the biggest podcast ever for a motorcycle podcast?
Maybe, yeah. And to his left, we have
Tom Pennington.
not behind the bar tonight.
No.
Right. Did you show up on 2 wheels or 4?
Oh, no, I brought the Element.
You brought the Element, exactly.
Well, it's got the working air conditioner.
We have an
11-person podcast. Yeah.
With no headphones.
With no headphones.
Well, we have one pair of headphones.
Right.
I got to
What
remind
was that
everybody.
you said? I didn't hear you. What did you say?
Right.
What?
I got to remind the folks at home that everything on this table showed up on the back of a Honda Docs.
That
Yeah, that's true.
The
So-
constant hum
Right.
kind of deadens everything.
Right.
I'm actually not hearing it. Which
No,
is, like I have it
yeah.
gained down.
He's got it
enough.
gained out.
Yeah. So we're not.
So
go ahead.
This has been a lifelong challenge, or at least a 15-year challenge since we started the podcast. I had this idea. What if there was a way that I could buy the right equipment and I could make one go-to-war bag, and in that go-to-war bag was enough shit to do a podcast? I didn't think it would be an 8-channel podcast.
with 11 people.
But goals were set, and then we added YouTube to it. We added video elements to it, and somehow all this shit fit in one waterproof bag.
Where is the
And-
camera? I don't even know where the camera
So we
is.
have 2 cameras.
Okay.
We actually have 3. So, but yeah, so we got one camera right there, the fill cam, and that's this side of the table. We have the master camera over there. Hey, everybody at home, you guys check us out.
And this is just my dumb camera.
Oh yeah, that's his functional camera.
I mean, where's the Johnny Mac cam?
Well, the Johnny Mac cam's right there. Yeah.
It didn't
Can't
like
forget
you,
that
and
one.
it joined. It's now it's the film
right.
cam.
Well, the Johnny Mac nose cam.
Yeah.
Okay, so people have had a chance to walk around and look at this place, because keep in mind, it's not just the mini bikes, which is awesome, but there's also the whole museum, and the museum itself is shockingly well appointed. We have airplanes, we have every kind of Packard that ever existed on the planet, apparently. We have cars downstairs with wooden wheels and white tires. That's a thing you don't see every day.
Stainless
We've
steel
got
cars.
Numerous stainless steel cars, a whole lot of stainless steel cars downstairs. There's a 68 Lincoln Continental suicide doors that's made out of stainless steel.
They have one of the only Chevrolet EV1s I've ever seen in my life.
that didn't get crushed.
That didn't get crushed.
Right, that didn't get repossessed and crushed. So there's a lot of cool, weird shit in this museum.
So don't tell anybody at GM that one of them still exists
Right,
here.
yeah, they're going to send a truck for it. They're going to be like, you're not allowed to have that.
Don't overlook the merry-go-round back there either.
Yeah, and that's one of our customers who does that. That's John Blazer, who is one of our customers, who's also a dentist and a Porsche-phile. That's right. He only touches underage Porsches. And you know,
I find the aged ones are kind of a little bit better, though.
he only like the Porsche that works at Hot Topic and the Porsche that works at Build-A-Bear. Right. He just goes through them all and hits all the Porsches.
So we had a comment come in that said, "So since you are the John cam is now the Phil cam,
Right.
are you going to fall asleep on camera tonight?"
Oh,
Hey, it might just be related to that camera right there. That's it. Shoot down the barrel of the sleepy guy who's not doing the boards. It's really cool. We have the important part of the Goodyear blimp in here. The important part, arguable, the fact that a big bag of gas wouldn't fit in the building, but the control house is right there with us.
Gondola.
The gondola. Yes, exactly. The gondola.
That's Italian.
Step into my gondola. And, okay, so I'm going to go to my immediate left. Greg, what is your actual on display, not parked outside? What's your favorite bike that's in here?
My favorite bike. Well, I mean, they all got a place kind of in my heart. But if I had to pick one, it'd probably be the Hardtail Z50 over there that I built.
Yeah, the Hardtail Z50.
Or the 69 Bonanza with the Hodaka motor.
Also very cool.
Or the 2 Fuji Go Devils that my daughter and my niece rode the wheels off at every scooter show I've taken them to.
Well, now one of those Go Devils has been passed around since Skidmark was at the coffee shop.
Well, okay, so Brian, who's
Right.
here, he's walking around. He
Right.
actually has a Fuji Go Devil.
Right.
That's not one of them.
Oh, no, his is a Centaur, isn't it?
No, he's got the
Oh.
Fuji Go Devil, but when he bought his, and he told me he paid like $250 for
Yeah.
it, which that's crazy, you know, they go
Right.
for big money. And he
That's
said
big money.
he said he even has the bag for it. Well, at our old shop, the old little tiny
Right.
garage,
Yeah.
someone took the carb apart and they lost one of the most important pieces in the carb to make it run. It's this little tiny screw up piece, brass, that goes down in the bowl. Lost it. So it never would run again unless you had that piece or machined it, right? I found him a carb for it, got it
Right
going.
on.
And I was like, man, this is really cool. Well, then I bought one of them. Then I bought another one. Then I bought another one. And I got parts for them. So I think I have 4 running. There's one on display that's all, like you said, the folding.
Folding, yeah.
The one's folded up in the bag, just like your de Blasi's. And then
Yeah.
there's one that's all
right
spread
behind us, if anybody cares, right behind us we have 4 bikes that are in their flaccid form and their erect form.
Yes.
Right? So
Erect.
they're getting it there and then getting it once you get there. And that's a concept of the idea is a bike in a bag. And basically these bags are the size of hockey bags, like hockey equipment bags. And these bikes are not fucking light. How heavy is the Go Devil?
I think 50 or 60 pounds.
I thought 75.
Something like that.
Because I
Yeah,
know
the
that
bag would
the
rip if you,
DeBlasis
like,
are
really go
80
pick it up.
pounds. And like throwing that over your
Yeah,
shoulder
they're
and like,
heavy.
I'm going to go to commute to work on this thing. Try carrying an 80-pound worst shaped bag on the planet anywhere for any distance. And the fantasy was if you had your Cessna or your Sea Ray boat,
Right.
you could put that on the boat or the Cessna, and when you got where you were going, you didn't have to call a taxi.
Well, if I remember, the de Blasi was specific. The ones you have are
Yeah.
specifically made to go into the trunk of a car.
Also true.
Because you call somebody when you're drunk at a bar, they would show up on that bike,
There's a whole business for that
drive
in
your
England.
car home,
Yeah.
and put that in your trunk, and then fuck off.
There's a whole job in England that you can have called being a monkey rescue rider. And so that when you get loaded, they show up, throw that in your trunk, and they drive your car home, even though you're super duper loaded and shouldn't be driving anything.
Top Gear did a whole episode on that where they each had cars and they had a fold up scooter and they would show up, they'd drive your car home and then they'd have to ride the scooter back. and
Oh,
everything
Is that
like
the one where Jeremy had that, like, he was in the thing that the car had a helmet on it?
Oh, yeah. Jeremy cannot ride a motorcycle. the same as
No,
Mike.
no.
Absolutely refuses to. And so also behind us, we have the Moto Compo. And we have 2 Moto Compos. We have the new Electro Compo. I know, right? I know. Here's Brian Shaffron behind us. I don't know where he came from. Hey, Brian.
Hey.
Say hi to everybody.
What's going on?
Skid Mark Garage Moto Go.
It's
Right
a 12-person podcast. It's official. So the founder of Skidmark Garage and also Moto Go, who we can't thank enough for Sarah, our apprentice. Best thing we've ever done in a long time was our Moto Go. Yes, our Moto Go apprentice, Sarah, who is, I mean, she is the best thing since Tom. That is it.
She is killing it.
She's super fun. We love having her around. So the Moto Compo was literally, it was designed to go in the trunk of a Honda car, the Honda City. And it was like, you buy the car, you could have that Moto Compo as an option. So that the idea is mom would drive the car around, taking the kids to the various events and whatnot. Dad gets dispatched out of the car that last 2 or 3 miles to get into the city center so that the, oh, look at that, Peggy McElfresh is over there. So this idea would be that you could have dad go through the congestion zones where if you're driving a car, it could cost you $15 or $20 a day to drive the last 2 miles. And then dad is supposed to fold that thing up and wheel that in like a dolly. That's one we have. If we want to like pick up the folding bike contest, don't pick the Moto Compo. It is not the easiest one to pick up of all of them. But the Moto Compo and the de Blasi's all are completely DOT legal. Full turn signals, full brake light, tail light, headlight. And the fact that some engineer somewhere went, great idea. We put it together. It folds. It works. Everything's great. And then some other jerk from the marketing department came in and said, oh, well, now it's got to be DOT legal. And the engineer quit. That was his last day at work. He was done at that point because they hired somebody to put the lighting rig on that's never been on a motorcycle before. The lights on these things are tragic. They are terrible. The Moto Compo has a gas gauge. It is way too deluxe. It shouldn't be that fancy. But again, this is the mini bike culture of you just have a job to do, and now you have to get to that job. So you don't need a big motorcycle. Get a little motorcycle. It is barely enough to get the job done. And the rest of the mini bikes in there Well, they were all about your first bike. They were all about, oh, you want to ride a motorcycle? Well, good luck, pal.
It's barely enough, but it's enough.
It's enough, right? It's enough. And so many of these bikes, who did their first motorcycle ride on something that identifies it as a mini bike? All right?
Mine is in this room.
Yours is in this room.
In the same bike.
Well, what was it?
The Honda Z50A
The
hardtail.
Z50A hardtail.
Yep.
So that was your first ride.
Yep.
Absolutely. Chris Smith, what was your first?
Just one of these garage bikes.
Yeah.
You know, sitting over there.
Like a Sears frame or something?
Yeah.
Right. And then some
Lawnmower.
Briggs. Yeah.
No,
What about you?
no brakes.
Mine was also the Sears lawnmower motor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sears Roebuck.
Yeah, they were just in my neighborhood. We have no idea where they came from. They had like
Sears.
75 coats of paint on it.
Well, you imagine
I
the
think he
kid
bought
down
them
the
at
street was
Sears.
maybe like 12 and he got it. And then when he got his driver's license 4 years later, he didn't want a mini bike anymore. So they were like disposable. You'd get them at a garage sale for $25 or something.
Well, I was talking to the guy that he's over here, the guy that has that yellow hardtail, and we were talking about it. That's his childhood bike.
That's the childhood bike.
Yeah,
That's what
he got it.
him into
He got it when he
motorcycles.
was 12. Yeah, I was just talking to him. But then we were also talking about how that Sears, the little orange one up there, the little box frame, right? Well, he says, I remember when my dad bought it. I was 12 years old. It was $300. I said that Sears Runabout was $89.
Oh my
So
God.
and there's ads to prove it.
Yeah.
If you
Right.
you look it all up. That Sears little Runabout, whatever it was called, the little
Right.
hardtail with the little Briggs motor, was $89.99. Whereas the Z50 with the lights and the 3-speed, that was $289.99. So for the same price, you could buy 4 bikes, mini bikes.
Wow, you could set up your whole family.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So the Z50 hardtails, that's kind of in the CT70s. That's what everyone wanted, but that was like the upper echelon of like you had to have money to have one of those. The other ones, yeah, like you said, they just showed up.
The Sears Runabouts, that is the motor, right? The motor is the money. Everything around it is the smallest amount of money spent to make the motor get across the yard.
Solid wheels.
Yeah.
There wasn't really anything special about them.
Yeah.
The frames were just, there was no suspension.
No.
The first bike I ever rode, my neighbor built, and nobody had a welder, so
Yeah.
he took angle iron and bolted the mini bike
He
together.
literally bolted it together.
You could do that.
Yeah, drilled holes and
Yeah.
just put triangles
Right.
because once you triangle something, it's strong.
There's never enough triangles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No fancy welding for you, huh?
No.
Yeah. When in doubt, add more triangles.
Yep.
So what was your first?
All of my motorcycle rage is about unrequited mini bike love. That as a child, me and my buddy Stevie would look at the Honda brochures and we wanted an XR75 so bad, the silver XR75, and never got it. And it wasn't until later on when I was in high school and I finally had $50 to my name from working at Long John Silver's that I bought a Suzuki TS 250. So my first ride was on a 252 stroke.
252 stroke.
Yeah.
Tom, what was your first ride?
Oh, I think my cousin's trial. No. I take it back. My brother's Yamaha Trial 80 was the first thing that burned my leg.
There you go. Tim, what was your first ride?
Just the Sears Roebuck. Yeah.
The Sears Roebuck, exactly. Mine was an unidentifiable, unknowable Briggs motor surrounded by and completely unknowable existing. And to this day, I walk around looking at every single mini bike and going, not exactly it. I have no idea, and I'm almost positive it was a Harbor Freight type experience. It was one of these things that somebody showed up at a flea market with 48 of them that somebody else had welded up.
If you look in like some of the mini bike guides
Yeah.
and like the magazines from the 60s, 70s, there's a lot of send away for your plans to build your own or how to modify a bicycle frame with a motor.
Yes.
You know, like you could buy the plans or the kit and build your own. So there's a lot of like Facebook pages where guys are like, what's this mini bike? You guys got to know what it is. Well, it looks literally homemade and it looks nice. I mean, it's a mini bike. It probably goes good, but I don't think it's a manufactured bike.
Right.
And you might have had
And mine was
a garage build.
Mine was originally built with probably 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch tubing, but due to the principle of Fordite, that means every time somebody stole it, they painted it. It looked like it had 1 inch tubing, because if you took a knife across that thing, it looked like like a gobstopper.
It's like
right?
a tree. You could cut like through it, a cross section. You could count the rings.
You could
tell how
count the
many
rings
owners
and know
it
how
had.
many owners it had.
I just
Phil, you
saw-
talk about you guys used to scavenge motors and stuff,
Oh, yeah.
lawnmowers and everything. I grew up in hillbilly land. Like lawnmowers got passed down from generation to generation. Like there was no scraps left over for us to even cobble anything together. The best we could do was just dream, you know.
Right.
Like I pretended when I was mowing the lawn that this could be a mini bike, but it had.
John was so poor, his mini bike was powered by a steam engine. He inherited from Fulton.
He got a wood gas engine. So, Dan, what was your first?
My first was a John Deere. I don't know the model. Probably around 1970. It was an off-road bike.
Yeah.
Solid rubber tires with tractor-style tread. I mean, it shook your fillings out just
course.
from the tread on the tires.
The Chevron tread alone is going to drive you insane.
Right. It made me not want to ride anything until I was about 20
That'll
years old.
cure you. And you were probably the only. How old were you?
Probably 11, 10 or 11.
So he's the only 11-year-old with a hernia and prostate failure. Yeah, fair enough. What was your first bike, Nick?
First thing I rode was it was like Sears made it, but it was totally haggard.
Yeah.
Someone had worked on it several times and several
Was
engines.
it a mini bike or was it a?
It was a mini bike.
It was bigger-
Yep,
it was
it had
a-
like the 5-horse Briggs flathead.
Any suspension at all?
No. Yeah, classic.
I love that whole thing is like, we don't need suspension. No, they're never going to go that fast. Meanwhile, these things go 50 miles an
They're
hour across
flying.
the field.
Yeah.
Way too fast. And it's
They're
got a
absolutely
band
too
brake on
fast.
it. And you're like, wait a second. It's literally just got a piece of steel
Yeah.
going around the hub that's already there.
Sometimes
That's
you just
my
had the
brake.
scrub brake that are like rubbed on the rear tire.
Oh, the scrub brake.
I got a question. So, what was the first bike? So, you first rode a mini bike, probably had a centrifugal clutch.
Yeah.
When's the first time you rode one with a torque converter and you were like, holy shit, this is a game changer?
Okay,
Yeah.
so in my family, we had garbage picked go-karts and we had garbage picked mini bikes.
Yeah.
So we had 2 or 3 of each before we knew that clutches existed. We were direct drive off the splines. So what Dad would do is he'd put it up on a block of wood we had, a piece of railroad tie. He'd put it up on the block of wood, he'd pull start it, and then he'd kick you off the block. So he'd kick you off the block. Right. He'd kick you off the block and you'd go like hell until you were ready to not go anymore. And then you reach down with your hand and put the piece of metal on top of the spark plug that shorted the spark plug out. And I was like, should I have a glove? And my dad's like, no. And my grandpa's like, nah, just go ahead and push it down. As soon as it hit the spark plug, it'll shut off. And that's how we...
I love
the first time I had a bike,
Phil's grandpa was in Daft Punk.
The first time I had a bike that had a actual clutch where you could like it would sit and idle was mind blowing to me.
Thought something was broken. Hey, this thing's not going.
Come on, man, what's going on? It's
The motor's
broken.
running, it's not moving.
Yeah, my neighbor kid comes over and I'm like, here, pick it up and put it on the block. He's like, why? I'm like, because that's how you start it, dumbass. And that's the way it worked. I mean, that was the system in my backyard. And we would also drive circles in the backyard, which the go-kart could make about 6 circles in the backyard on the concrete before the yaw got too much and it would hit the chain link fence. So you could do 6 circles, bat out of hell, until you yawed out too much and then you'd hit the chain link fence, which meant everything stopped suddenly. I mentioned the go-kart was made of just steel.
Well, the good thing is that the chain link fence would actually ground out the spark plug.
Oh, well, yeah, right. Fair enough. Yeah. So that was just...
Chain link
that's how
fence
we
will
started.
grab your front wheel like nobody's business.
Well,
I've ever mowed
and
it.
our
It's like-
chain, our go-kart was made out of 3/4 inch tubing or 1 inch tubing, so that coming out of the front of the go-kart past the wheels were these 2 1-inch metal tubes, iron pipe, black pipe. So that would hit the chain link fence, grab into the chain link fence, and the whole rest of the car would whip around. So you got whiplash and a little bit of a maxillofacial injury going on there. Yeah, pretty good.
Was it said go-kart live axle or a single wheel drive?
No, that was literally single wheel drive.
Okay.
There was the shortest possible distance of chain between said side shaft motor and hard rubber tire that eventually all the dust leaked out of it once you'd wear through the tire.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that would dictate which way you had to go around the track too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which way it would drive.
Completely.
Yeah,
100%. Our backyard, you could only go clockwise. Yeah.
Awesome.
You couldn't go anti-clockwise. Yeah. It also turned better clockwise than it turned anti-clockwise based on the position of the wheel. Yeah. So that's weird. That's a thing that happens. So everybody who's sitting at this table, have y'all been to the Crawford Auto and Aviation Museum before? Sean, it's your first time?
This is my first time.
Did you get a chance to take a lap?
apparently I was endeavored with helping to set up for the podcast.
I did see. I saw somebody standing there, and I said, "You look like you can tape down cables." Yeah,
I did it. I did one hell of a job. If I can,
you really
be a little
did.
modest
And
about it.
Nobody has tripped over the cables yet and ripped all this shit off the table, because all it's going to take is one absent-minded geriatric to turn this whole podcast into a pile of spaghetti on the floor.
I'll tackle him.
Yeah.
Before that happens.
Hey, look, it's Lizzie. Hey, Lizzie. Lizzie came over to make some wheels for us. Yay. Yeah, we talked about Lizzie. Lizzie's our local wheel lacer. So if you're in Cleveland, Ohio, and you need a wheel put together, Lizzie is here for you.
I'm here for you.
Lizzie's
Absolutely.
ready.
There we go.
Lizzie, what's the weirdest wheel somebody's brought you so far?
Oh man, I've got a couple good ones. The
Palfrey?
the Honda Palfrey, that was a good one. Yeah, the JDM that he's got. He just got an NC50 straight from Japan.
Okay.
And the rear wheel needed.
It was one of those Pringles wheels?
Yeah, it was like we're not
wasn't too
expecting
bad, but it was-
perfection, but better would be great.
Yeah.
And we made it better. So yeah.
That's fantastic. Has anybody brought you anything bigger than a 21 yet?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Whew. There's
Let's do it.
a lot of guys out
Who's
there in
got
the
it?
hood that got some big 36-inch romper
Yeah.
stompers that I've seen
Yeah.
going down the road like this.
No, and I would love to do that because that's
Yeah.
that's where I get I don't know, my serotonin from it. It's like I love the lacing itself.
Yeah.
But being able to know what measurements to take and how to accurately take them and plug them in the spoke measurement calculator and coming up with the accurate spoke measurement for custom, laced wheels. That's the math nerd in me is just loving it.
Like doing one of those 121 spoke wheels where it's just all spoke. Like
That would be crazy. Oh my God. That would keep me busy.
One bonus spoke for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
There's got to be. I had a guy come by my shop the other day on a donk. I don't know if you guys know what donks are. We call donks the motorcycles that have a ridiculously small back wheel, like a 17 on the back.
Okay, like
And then they have a
mullet, but
36
severe.
on the front.
Okay.
Right?
Like
And-
a penny farthing motorcycle.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
like
Do you have a
pizza
wheel
cutter.
stand big enough to true a 36-inch
So
wheel?
I don't know about 36, but I do have extensions, and I guess I could put extensions
There
on
are
extensions.
sawhorses exist, right? Yeah. I mean,
you can get creative. That's the whole thing. That's why
the guy that came by the shop the other day on this thing that was just weird paint and like 7 sound systems and LED lights and the whole deal. And he showed up. You didn't buy it? Well, the funny thing was he came by the shop and he's like, "Hey man, this thing's running pretty bad." And when he showed up and he pulled the thing in and he leaned it over, I saw his front wheel had a pronounced whoop in it.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of wheel. I mean, 36 inches is a
Right.
lot of wheel.
Yeah.
Getting the tires for those can be a challenge.
Yes.
And there's only a couple of companies you can get those tires from reliably. And I said, "Hey," I said, "do you ride that wheel like that? Like, is that?" He goes, "Yeah, I hit a pothole a couple of years ago, and it's fine. I have it up over 100 all the time."
Oh my God.
Ooh. And I'm like,
It evens
You
out at
know?
the 90.
Maybe
"You
it smooths
have
out,
that
yeah.
over 100 miles an hour all the time?"
It's one of those things where it's like like the person that's used to it, you get used to it. Like my NX 250, right? Like how it was running.
Right.
Like before I put it down to be like, all right, we're gonna need to go through this. But like the forks were whooped. Like I had to choke it for miles.
Okay.
Like but now that it's like coming back together and we started on a dime, it's like, oh my God. I didn't even realize it was so bad. So he's going to realize, like, if he can get his wheel trued, hey, find me. That making it better is going to be so much of a noticeable difference.
Also, we had a lot of customers used to come in with Urals, and Urals used to have a thing where round wheels were like an option. So, like, a lot of Urals
came loose.
in the 90s,
It would just come loose.
the Ural wheel was literally not round.
Oh,
And
wow.
So they would take $12,000 of your money, give you a sidecar rig made in Russia, and the first time you took it on the road, it was doing this business.
Oh, that's,
And people are like,
maybe it's to match the bumps in the roads in
how
Russia.
on
I don't
earth
know.
is that even a thing? So they had a big campaign about it where they were like, okay, now this is your all. They're not going to send you some wheels. They're going to give you an option to buy some better wheels, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if you want
All
to
new
upgrade your
Ural.
I've seen
Ural-
companies
round
do
wheel.
that.
Yes, exactly. That's what it is. And so, like, we're joking, like, so in the community of urban bikers that have the donks and the Urals, those are both people that are ripe for your services. They
Yeah.
are those are market into those niche markets. And of course, the penny farthing market. Whoever brought that up, that's Yeah. That's not. We haven't covered that enough. Yeah. Get the the penny farthings and then the safety bicycles. Yeah. All those horrible things. So that's very cool. And you rode tonight.
I rode my Tomos.
You rode the Tomos Targa Top 10.
I call it a Thomas all the time. I almost
Thomas the Tank. Thomas the Tank moped.
Her name's Cherry.
Cherry.
She is a bright red 1996 Tomos Targa LX.
LX. Yeah.
Stock with some porting and a pipe. The stock car, which is a 1412 Shaw. And she rips. I got her up to 47 on the Shoreway.
Damn.
Yeah.
On
not
the
bad for a
Shoreway.
stock.
That is
little-
not.
Yeah.
That is not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is not bad for a Tomos moped. That is legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
that
a
is
ripper.
legit. Yeah.
It's not the size; it's how you use it.
That's considered speeding on the Shoreway now.
Well, yes.
Well-
First of all, that's 9 over.
Right.
Or 11 over. I'm sorry, that's 11 over.
incriminating
Illegally
myself.
speeding
Right,
on a
yeah.
moped.
I mean,
Of all the people that are going to get arrested for going 196 miles an hour on Interstate 90, Lizzie gets arrested for going 11 over on a fucking Tomos.
don't worry.
That would be my luck.
There's no cops that listen to this podcast.
No, there aren't.
I was going to say, do you really want to be the police officer that writes that ticket?
Again, I will tell people in my shop this all the time. Police officers are violently, evilly mean to each other. If you think they're mean to you, you should see the way they treat each other. And when I was a police officer, there was an unwritten rule. You didn't pull over a scooter or a moped.
Right.
Because if you did, the second you call out the license plate over the radio that the entire city is listening to, dispatch goes, oh. And dispatch looks for any opportunity to fuck with the guys on the road.
Yeah.
So dispatch will go, okay, 4. So it looks like you're out there with a 1988 Vespa registered to Lizzie. Lizzie, okay. And yeah, it's valid. It's valid. Are you going to be okay there? Or should we send SWAT?
Send back up.
And then as soon as dispatch leaves the thumb off of her, because dispatch is always a her, as soon as dispatch takes her hand off the switch, every one of your fellow officers is going to be like, 4, this is 2, I got your back. 4, this is 3, I'm responding, code 4. 4, this is 1, I'm responding, code 4. 4, can we get a helicopter over here?
I can only imagine the shit the guy got for pulling me over.
It never stops.
For drag racing a Geo Metro.
Well, at least it has
My
4 wheels.
first speeding ticket was in a Geo Metro drag racing.
Yeah, but you didn't get pulled over for the Metro. You got pulled over for drag racing, dude.
Dr. Waters and I were 2 up on a shit hot P200, which means it could clear 75 miles an hour. So we were 2 up on a P200. We were coming down Interstate 91, and we were moving along about 65-ish on 10-inch wheels. Cop comes out of the Metro Parks. Literally, a Metro Parks cop could not resist me going 65 on Som Center Road, which is 50. So he screams out, lights and sirens, pulls us over, and here we are, joyfully enjoying our scooter. He comes up and he goes, do you have any idea how fast you were going? I was like, absolutely. We're going 45. It's as fast as it can go. And he goes, no, I clocked you at 65. And I was like, officer, I think what you're doing is a great job here, but that is scientifically impossible. This is a Vespa scooter, and it goes 45. Probably less with both of us on it. We're 2 full-size American people. And he reassessed the situation. I said, are you sure it wasn't somebody coming at you? I know the radar works. It keys in on the higher speed and the larger vehicle. So the larger vehicle is anything other than this. The faster vehicle is anything other than this. So if there's a car within a mile, it's what your radar's seeing, not this.
Is that Matt and Missy from Moto Hop?
That is Matt and Missy from Moto Hop. The Moto Hoppers are here. Yay! Are you guys getting your small bike requirement in before AMA Vintage Days? Yeah. All these vehicles in here will be for sale at AMA Vintage Days. Bargain priced.
Greg's like, no, they ain't.
Well, you can't get them out of here until October, so.
Oh, that's a good way to protect you from selling your shit.
Phil's like, damn it, I didn't know that.
Damn it. Did you have to sign a contract?
All right, so
for
take
that?
us
Like,
back.
you can't sell it.
So you can sell it.
nice.
It's just going to live here until October.
Until
it's-
October.
it's
Okay,
on-
good luck with that.
What is it?
Lend-lease?
Lend-lease.
It's on Lend-Lease. Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
nice.
No, the big wheel
They'll
bike
put
over there.
Just like every other museum in the world, they put a red dot right next to the exhibit
NFS.
to say that it's already been sold.
Yes.
Oh,
there you go.
okay.
Right. It's like when you
Gotcha.
go to an art museum I've never been to an art museum. I don't know. I have no idea.
I
The big
grew up in
trapper
them.
bike. The big trapper bike.
Yeah,
over there
the
with big
tracker
wheels.
bike with the chevrons
I
on
was
it.
going to take that to Mid-Ohio, but they're like, oh, we want to display it in the show. I go, okay, all right.
Oh, no in and out privileges?
No,
what the hell
no.
kind of
But
LA
now
is
you have
this?
to-
I
Now you
would
have to
bring
bring
it
your
back like
Tomos.
all. Yeah, let me bring it back, and yeah, just.
Oh, I would
cake.
bring it back filthy.
Oh, I should.
Oh, I noticed that somebody ran a rag over my bikes, by the way. 'Cause,
I didn't do that.
I brought a couple of these things in filthy, and somebody took the liberty of cleaning my bike for me.
I
I think
mean,
it's John.
you took the white de Blasio away from me at band camp a couple of years ago because I had it covered
So
in mud.
there was a.
It was that guy right there, Dan Davis.
Yeah, Dan Davis. It's his fault
he was
right
wiping
there.
the bikes down.
Yeah, that bike's not big enough to hide behind, Dan. You need a much bigger bike, sir.
Do you guys need frosty adult beverages?
If you know of I tried flagging the stewardess down earlier, and she looked at me and she went,
Raise your hand so I know how many
Stewardess.
to get.
Phil, why don't
Well,
you bring
again?
them over so people can
Yeah.
see them and say hi?
What's that?
Dan, come over
well,
here
we're
and
gonna
say
bring him
hi.
over once he delivers the beverages.
Okay.
We're gonna make him sing for his supper. Yeah,
Give
that's
and
it.
take.
Yeah,
One,
I'm raising my hand for an adult beverage.
4, 5, 6.
Wow, they're getting free beers from the
beverages.
museum. I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Raise your hand if you need something NA or something. I suppose.
I'm
yeah.
good.
No.
Right. Okay. So
I got
that is the kind of hospitality that we get at Crawford Auto and Aviation Museum.
around here.
I'll
if
take
you
a
need it.
milkshake.
So, Unky Phil,
I just had
Yes.
one of those. They're
take
pretty
us
good.
back to Som Center Road.
So the officer in question showed up and we had this conversation. He ran my license plate, which came back for a completely different bike, but it was historical. And I said, of course, Lambretta made all the Vespas.
Wait a minute, this isn't
Right?
you didn't have the hysterical plate on it.
I
did
always
you?
have historical plates.
No, the hysterical.
I know. Every single historical plate I've ever had, I white out the letter O and turn it into the letter E. So my historical plates all say hysterical.
That's hysterical.
Because it gets the cop ready, right? If the cop's going to come up to you and that plate says hysterical, he's going to at least be like, okay, this guy's got a sense of humor. I'm probably not going to get shot.
Yeah.
Also, the guy's riding a 40-year-old moped. I'm probably not going to get shot.
Yeah.
Right. So it just sets things off on a lighter tone. But he did. He ran me through. He ran the bike through. I explained that, yes, all 1962 Lambrettas were marked as Vespa P200Es, and that was just normal. And that was enough for him. He decided not to get into a pissing match based on the operation of radar, because I also then badged him. And I was like, well, there's this thing we call, there's this reciprocity. And reciprocity means I'm going to take care of you in your city or my city when you come through. So it was fine. I wasn't a badge-carrying member of the law enforcement community anymore, but he also didn't want, because I could already hear the traffic coming in on his radio from all the other Willoughby Hills cops, literally saying, dude, did you pull over a Lambretta? And that was coming out of his shoulder mic. And I was like, there it goes. There it goes. And I looked up and I saw he was kind of a young cop. So I was like, you're never going to do this again, are you? And he's like, no, I'm never doing this again, ever.
I hope you learned a lesson here, officer.
Yep. Thank you very much. I could have warned you about that. Wave at him and be like, before you call this in, I don't know if you've got the clout that you can back this up. It'd be a good idea. Might be a good idea if you did. So generally speaking, mopeds in general, there's a whole lot of people that have confusions over what is legal and what is not legal, especially in our state where it's not just 49 cc's, it's 49 cc's and pedals and less than a horsepower and
We
less
kind
than
of
20
just
miles an
rely
hour.
on the cops also being confused and get away with what we want.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Right.
Chesterfield.
Oh, chewing.
Frosty adult
Oh my
beverages.
God.
Yeah, Dan
He's going to
Davis
do the bunny
delivers.
dip when he gets over to you. Yeah, that's it. Keep going. That's the AA section. That's it. Hey, Phil, they said it was anonymous. The principal term is anonymous. Oh, my Lord.
Not only is he a great beer steward, but
the Yingling.
he also
The
bought-
finest traditional
he's,
lager.
He's the owner. I'm good. He's also the owner of the Red Monkey.
Right, yeah.
You're committed. You have to.
Yeah.
He's the,
Yeah,
he's
you're
the-
like the pig in a bacon and egg breakfast.
I've got
You're
it.
committed.
I'm committed.
committed.
The chicken
I
is
should be
interested,
committed.
The pig is committed.
Pig is committed.
Whoa!
All right. So Dan Davis, the guy who just brought us these beverages, is the reason this is happening tonight.
That rules.
As you know, we've had some recent people working here at Crawford Auto and Aviation Museum. Bradley Brownell was also very much into the idea of bringing the cool, weird shit that we do into the museum. And Bradley now has gone on. I'm not sure if he's still with Jalopnik or who he's with, but anyway, Dan Davis is another one. He's bringing the community to the museum. And the idea of bringing the community to the museum is better than being a museum and waiting for the community to show up for you.
Mm-hmm.
So finding weird, culty, odd, strange stuff, because not only is this a museum about cars and airplanes, but it's also about the Western Reserve Historical Society. So it's also the history of our state of Ohio, the Western Reserve as a whole. So if you show up here with your family, don't lead with it's the car and airplane museum. Tell your family it's the Western Reserve Historical Museum, and then they'll have other things they can be interested in.
And let them know that they have a Ferris wheel or a merry-go-round for the kids.
And they also completely beautifully restored.
My kid was always. We've been here 1,000 times when she was younger because she just wanted to ride that. So
Sure.
when the wife and her were doing that, I got to enjoy the rest of the museum.
Genius,
Yes.
multitasking.
I'm not sure where that fits in, but they've got those cool clothes over there.
Yes.
And dresses on display.
Smith was trying them on before. You missed it. Yeah.
Okay, all right. We're all good. We should have worn those for the podcast.
Yeah.
That one's fancy over there.
That is supremely gorgeous. I mean, that's super
I don't
cool.
think they have any big girl clothes for me.
Johnny Mac.
Well, hold on, Lizzie. Your friend showed up with the jumper, the romper.
Michael.
Michael
Yes.
showed up on my favorite. It's a romper, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
a romper.
Yeah,
It
that's
is
what he was wearing that when I met him, and I was like, "Oh, you're with us."
You are instantly one of us.
Yeah.
When we go to AMA Vintage Days, we have a large flag flying over our camp, the FEMA camp.
You let your
can
freak
see
flag
it, and
fly.
you know where we are. And when you see that flag, you know that we are fun people.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That flag does not say go away. That flag does not say you must be at least this weird to come in. What it says is whatever you're into, we got that.
It's like the Statue of Liberty. It's like bring your weird, bring your
weird.
strange, bring your party.
Let's make it weird.
My motto has always been, I stole it from Hunter S. Thompson. It will never get weird enough for me.
Right.
Like when somebody's like, we're going to go do this thing. It's really weird and it has tentacles. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
Buy the ticket, take the ride, right?
I promise you, buy the ticket, take the ride. I'm right there every single time.
If I'm
Wait a
there, though,
minute,
I'm gonna need-
Johnny Mac.
Yes, sir.
Didn't you get yourself a Bucky's onesie?
Yeah, I did that the one year, and I still have it.
You do still have it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my God.
that was
Because you have two
mentioned.
costumes. You have the Bourbon Ferry
Yes,
and the Bucky's.
yes.
Dude, the Buckies, I included the Buckies just as a little snippet in this last video I did, and there was like 10 comments like, Johnny Mac!
Oh my God. the Bucky's beaver is, when you get that on, you get a little gleam in your eye.
I'm so happy.
You're seriously, if you ever see John in the Bucky's beaver costume, hand him a firework.
Yes.
Just hand him a firework. Hey, that's the smile. When you see that smile, when you hand John a firework and he's wearing his Bucky beaver costume, and it's just like, oh, this is John in his native environment now. This is where he wants to be his entire life. It is so much fun to have this. Did anyone else notice that it tends to attract the mini bike people? It tends to attract the moped people. It tends to attract the scooter people. It tends to attract the neurodivergent on the spectrum somewhere.
I'm convinced that there's a moped gene.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. If you see somebody who has an unusually overdeveloped right calf, that's from kickstarting. And there are people. Yeah. If you get somebody who's like, oh, I'm going to go kickstart that bike, and the other guy's like, fuck you, I'm going to bump it. That Yamaha RD60 bump started way better than if you would have stood there and tried to kickstart it or hate start it.
Yeah.
It is, John's the same way. John is like, you're not going to kickstart it like a Trail 90. John's like, just push it. 90% of the time, John's just like, oh, just push it. Because you're headed in that direction anyway, and now you're closer.
I will say this, that a Kickstarter can beat an electric starter.
Yeah.
Like you can actually spin that motor a little bit faster. If you really give it a good romp, then the electric starter will do it. I've had bikes where electric starter, no, it won't do it, but give it a good stomp.
Well, raise your hand if you've ever stolen all the electricity from your coils trying to start your bike using an electric starter.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah. I needed that electricity to make the engine go boom, 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 boom. But I just used it all. Yeah, exactly. It's Tuesday already. I just used all of my electrons to crank that stupid starter motor. And now I don't have anything to support the coil.
Well, and John gets them so good. Like your one, that one that you have like the dirt bike bars on, you just move it an inch and it's running. Like you put it in
Do you know what
first.
John will tell you? Points and condenser.
Points and condenser.
Yeah.
That's it. John's the only guy I know unelectronic ignitioning bikes.
Yeah.
Points of condenser on there.
I'm not unfuel injecting anything, though. I can tell you that.
Keep that feeler gauge on you.
Oh, no, I smoke.
Cigarette paper.
As long as I get a pack of cigarettes, I'm good to go.
Fair enough.
Yeah, business card, pack of cigarettes. I can
Yep.
time anything. I'm good.
That's true.
Yeah, I do like in one of our old Honda manuals. I can't remember which one it was, but it, in the toolkit they put a feeler gauge, which is really, I think that's just delightful. I think that's
It's
so
cute.
elegant that they have a little pouch on the outside of the plastic toolkit for your feeler gauge. That's rad. But I also like that in the manual it says, or literally the cardboard from a pack of matches.
Oh, yeah.
And they conjure up a pack of matches, not a cigarette pack. We also know that the foil in cigarette packs will save your monkey ass 9 times out of 10 when you don't have an extra fuse in your bike.
Isn't there like a
Whoa.
rating, like a cigarette pack is like 10 amp or 8 amps? Yeah.
So we learned in our community that if you took the foil from a cigarette pack and went the whole way around the fuse and you put it in, that son of a bitch would not blow until you got to 10 amps. And at 10 amps, the smoke comes out.
Yeah.
But up until 10 amps, it's solid.
It sure beats using a 22 round.
Don't ever use a 22 round. Don't ever use a 22 round. It is the audible. Well, you've heard of a slow blow fuse? That's the fast blow fuse. Yeah. And it leaves a hole in your side cover.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a full round. Just a blank will do.
Well, sure. I mean, anything that fills that spot.
Who in the world has like blanks floating around in the top drawer of their parents'?
Anybody who has a RAM set.
Oh, well, that's true.
If you ever built a house.
A 22 facing backwards, you're fine.
Right,
It doesn't matter because we've done them a bunch. When they go and they're not in the gun, they just go out in all directions.
Yeah, right.
The bullet stays in the one place. The brass goes crazy.
So
Yeah.
Phil, since he's
Yeah.
sitting here, and
Yes,
he's
Dan
brought us
Davis.
Frosty beverages.
Yes.
I
Which
have
we
to
all
ask
appreciate.
him-
Thank
I have
you,
to
Dan.
ask- yes, thank you very much. I have to ask a very important question.
Yes.
How much did Greg have to bribe you to put in this exhibit?
Oh my God.
Talking to the mic, Dan.
I had to sign a non-disclosure, so I'm afraid that's going to have to stay just between Greg and us.
Is there any chance that Brian Shaffrin said, get at least 9 of these bikes out of my shop?
I think the number was 13, but
So a full baker's dozen.
yeah,
I actually
Baker's
believe
dozen.
I believe that Brian Shaffrin is waiting for Dan Davis to say it's the mid-'80s Japanese bikes display at the museum, so then Brian Shaffrin can get 90 derelict bikes out of Skidmark.
What's he going to do with all that space then?
But you'll have all of the Honda V45 Interceptors and Magnas. They'll all be here.
Every old gold wing.
Instead of not being worked on at
KZ440s
Skidmark.
hanging from the ceiling.
Do you know how many Viragos right now we have at the shop? Oh, it is
You're tripping over 'em.
obscenely stupid how many Viragos have come into our shop this year. And by the way, Brian goes, "Oh, you got to see this bike someone just gave me." I go, "Don't tell me it's a Virago." It's a Virago. Of course it's a But the guy made it look like
It's a Virago 50.
He made it look like a oh God, what was that?
While you're
He made,
thinking
it,
about
he made
that,
it look like an older bike.
hey Lizzie,
Yeah.
have you ever had a Virago 50?
I haven't. No.
So one of our podcast members, Cameron Vanderhorst,
OR50.
OR50. Okay, so I have a
OR50.
friend. Well, he passed, but he had an OR50, and he wanted to get that restored. They're so cool.
So-
that's like one of the lesser known shifty
by far.
50s.
It's
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
a YSR motor
Yep.
jammed into the world's smallest inappropriate cruiser.
It kind of it's almost like if a Suzuki did a monkey.
But
almost.
didn't the one guy have that at the shop a couple weeks ago?
I don't know.
That's what that
Virago-
was.
The Virago 50.
No, that's the RX.
Oh,
That's the RS. Totally different.
Yeah.
This
That's the
is,
cruiser.
I promise you, this is a Virago 250 shrunk down by 50% with a 50cc YSR motor in it. That's exactly what it is. Look it up.
Nice.
So we were at AMA Vintage Days. There are 93,000 cool motorcycles there. And Cameron Vanderhorst comes back, giant smile on his face, happiest kid I've ever met in my life. And he is pushing a Yamaha Virago 50. And the only color I'm convinced they came in, which is Oldsmobile Buick Burgundy, the color of your shirt.
Oh my God! I just got this for $800 with no title.
No title. A king's ransom. And he was
yeah.
so excited. And meanwhile, every other silverback gorilla at the camp was like, You got hosed. You got hosed. I hope you got
buddy.
a block of soap that might have a $10 bill in it
Yeah.
because you've participated in a motorcycle scam. And that thing showed up. And there are motorcycles that I will not touch out of principle, and that is on the list. It is just one of those things. I will give my soul to a YSR 50.
Yeah.
I will not spend 10 minutes on the YSR 50 powertrain put into a cruiser bike. I don't care how cool it was in Japan. It is what it is.
I'm with Lizzie. I think they're cool and they're so dorky that you have to have some appreciation for it.
But apparently I don't. And that would be like if you showed up right now in a Camaro with a, if you showed up in a Dodge Charger with a 225 slant 6 in it, I'm not going to get up and talk about how cool that is, right? That's just not where I am. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to play that game. That Virago, and then watching him sit on it and fantasize what it was going to be like the first time he got to ride it. I was just like, man.
I helped him clean the car when we got it running.
It was running. Look, it came to the right place because in less than 3 hours, the thing was being ridden around. It was never worth $800.
That's one of those bikes that's only appropriate at Mid-Ohio.
That's true. That's
one of my favorite parts about Mid-Ohio is getting something for cheap and then just fiddling it with your friends, and now it's running, and now you're riding it around Mid-Ohio. That's like the best part.
Completely.
But the problem with that, though, is when you get back on Monday and you got like 6 bikes, you're like, what the hell did I buy these for?
Yeah.
Like
I'm
the
wondering
football
how you're
helmet with the
getting them
wheel,
all
and it was awesome on Saturday, but now it's Monday, and you're like, what am I going to put this thing?
I'm going to go take a ride through the metro parks on this. Oh, no. What did I do?
My dumbass traded a completely good and running Tri-Zinger for a... You remember the deal.
I do.
I traded it for a Van. OG Van in green, right? So
is that
perfect.
the one that Chrome had?
That's the one that Chrome ended up with.
Oh, I rode that so
with the
much.
high-low transmission.
Yeah.
And at Mid-Ohio, that was the perfect bike. Balloon tires. It would just proceed along great.
In second gear, you didn't give it gas.
You just didn't give it
idle,
anything.
and it just moved.
You could drink a beer and just ride around Mid-Ohio on that Van.
Yeah.
So it is an old bike, so it looked cool and had the little holes painted in the side of the frame. I love that design. And I love old Vans. I love them, but I've never owned one until that event. And so I was so excited after Mid-Ohio. I was like, I'm going to ride this thing to work on Tuesday. And I made it halfway to work before the neighborhood, the entire Lorain County said, you are not allowed to be on the roads anymore. Because I stopped to make sure I was in high range. Because it's a 4-speed high-low. And there's a switch to put it from low range into high range. And in high range, 4th gear, it went 37 miles an hour.
Yeah.
At full chat, like piston dying to put a hole in it.
My stock Tomos goes faster.
See? And so I was pulling over the side of the road trying to put it in high range. Nope, I'm already in high range. And I got it to the shop and I was like, I'm never doing that again. It took me an hour to get to work. And Johnny Chrome was like, I like that bike. And I was like, you would, you weirdo. And
this is the bike for you.
But these are bikes at Mid-Ohio.
I love Vans. I'm a Van.
How can I put you into this Van today?
I got one.
The trick
right
is
now.
That's the dangerous thing about Mid-Ohio is you go to Mid-Ohio, you're surrounded by Mid-Ohio like we are today, and then you decide I'm going to take one of these things and I'm going to try to ride it to work, and then you realize why they were designed to be ridden in the backyard. They were designed to be farm bikes, trail bikes.
I had the exact opposite problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I have the R1150, which if I tried to drive it to work, it would not come off of the.
No, you live too close to where you work. Right. Yeah.
So I got a question. How many people have been to Mid-Ohio and said, this year I'm not buying anything, I'm not even bringing money, and then Saturday morning you're finding an ATM because you have to buy the whatever you found?
Yeah.
I have tried the technique where I bring no money.
Yeah.
But the problem is I sell things.
Yep.
Then I have money.
Yep.
and
then I'm like,
free money.
Yeah, and then I'm like, I've never had a TDM 850. I'd like to have a TDM 850.
Right.
That one seems squared away.
My favorite.
I've never owned a W650 before in my life.
Okay, guilty as charged. Bought that shit on Sunday. Yeah.
One of my favorite
so
Mid-Ohio.
Sunday buys are worth it though.
Yeah.
Like you said Saturday morning ATMs. Saturday morning ATMs for the fools. You got
No,
to go
yeah,
for the
yeah,
Sunday
yeah.
deal.
Sunday is-
it depends.
Unless it's like a bucket list item.
That's
right?
what I'm talking about.
Like Saturday's
yeah,
the
yeah,
bucket
yeah.
list
Sundays to
thing.
pick up the crap, but like
Right.
Saturday happens, like you're like, oh my god, I have
4th
wanted that for
Thursdays-
35 years, and I see it.
Thursdays you get the early bird deal.
Yeah.
So it's like you either got to buy on a Thursday or a Sunday.
Thursday, everybody at the place is either a vendor, which means you're a vulture,
Yeah.
or you're a vulture. And on Thursday, you pull up, and if you've got a trailer
Yeah.
that has like walls on it and
can
people
sniff it.
can't see inside, you're waiting in line to get in, and dudes are opening your trailer to see what's inside.
I'm not a vulture. I'm a vampire.
Totally vampire.
I've known guys that are in line Thursday night,
Yeah.
and there's people walking down, and they're lining the street.
Oh, yeah.
trying to, like when
Yeah, 'cause you're blocked
there's
out.
only one
After
a couple-
5 o'clock, you're not getting
So there's
it.
guys walking, and knocking on the windows. Is that bike for sale? Is that
Oh,
bike
yeah.
for sale? But what
Absolutely.
they do is they'll buy it Thursday night,
Of course.
ride it the whole weekend, and
Absolutely.
they sell it Sunday. If they're not, they take it home, put it on the market.
Promise you, that's
the way to do
the
it.
Mid Ohio game.
Kind of.
Yeah. That's right.
Especially if you realize that you don't have the room to take the thing home that you bought on Friday.
So that has benefited me a lot.
That's how Phil
That's how I got my
the
Moto
Campo.
Well, no, you know
that
what?
Moto Campo becomes that Moto Campo is because of the Japanese folks that have brought it into the country have poor spatial awareness skills.
Yeah.
So they showed up at Mid Ohio, supported by the guys from Rice Paddy.
Okay.
And they showed up, and
that the
Rice
Texas
Paddy was
people?
what's that?
Was that the Texas people?
They're Japanese people.
Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, okay. I was
Rice
just
Paddy's
thinking
from Columbus.
Okay.
And so
Gotcha.
what had happened was this couple from Japan had brought all these bikes in, 35 odd bikes. And the idea was we're going to ship them one way because we're going to sell 20 of these things at least. So the shipping truck went away. And so they had no plan for getting 35 bikes out of Mid Ohio. They
Right.
had one Dodge Ram truck and they had one borrowed trailer. And 35 won't
God
fit in
bless
that.
'em.
That's a buyer's market right
So
there.
yeah, so Sunday morning turned into a real buyer's market.
Yeah.
I
And
remember that when in the year they had 3 of those moto
They had 3
comps,
moto
and they were
compos.
like
Yeah.
crazy money.
oh, they were, yeah.
And they had the YSR 50s.
Yep.
They had all these race bikes from Japan, but
Yeah.
they had big numbers on
NSR
them.
250s
And they
were like 13 grand.
They just
Yeah.
did not
Nobody bought
sell.
them. Right.
No.
Nobody bought them.
When you told me
Wow.
you swooped in and
Because
picked up
they
that, I'm like,
failed to understand how AMA Vintage Days works. It is not a place for big spenders. It is a place for 100 heirs,
Yeah.
1,000 heirs,
Yes.
right? It is a place where people go, I've been trying to sell this for 2 years. I'm willing to now make it leave my life.
Yeah.
It is not the place where you're going to get top dollar for anything.
How do we transport your entire warehouse here?
Well, the trick is we just move Mid Ohio to the warehouse.
Right.
Right. Yeah, because I ain't moving the whole warehouse.
I think it's funny. You see, like the Facebook page,
Yeah.
Mid Ohio. I'm bringing this. I'm bringing 10,000, 20,000 for this. This
Right.
is it's like, listen, okay, this isn't bring a trailer.
Well, there
And
is
it's
an
not
auction.
Meekum.
And I have put
It's
many,
not.
many bikes in the auction.
Sure,
And
sure.
I've done the auction for years at Mid Ohio. And I will put a reserve on the bikes. And I promise you, out of 9 or 10 bikes I have put in the auction at Mid Ohio, not one of them has met reserve. It is truly the place where these guys' hands are glued in their pockets.
They want a deal.
Yeah.
Everyone wants a deal.
And that's Mid Ohio is the place where guys come in from Texas, guys from in California. Jay Leno was there one year. And we have at least, I know 3 people now who come to Mid Ohio from Japan to buy KZ900s, KZ1000s, CB750s. That's what they're there to buy.
We stay at Gyro Island with John Coe,
Yep.
who drives every year to AMA from Tacoma, Washington.
Absolutely.
And
We
he's a
love John
JDM
Coe.
Yeah, he's a JDM dealer, and like that's our home is on his swap meet
Hell
territory.
yeah, it is. And
Yeah.
John Coe is where weird goes to die.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
yeah. John Coe's the only place you're like, wow, I've never seen one of those. I'm like, turn around, there's 6 of them.
Yeah.
You're like,
Right.
yeah. John Coe is magic.
Yes,
Like,
I bought my first motorcycle ever. Like going away from scooters, mopeds, whatever.
Yeah.
My first shifty, I bought a TDR 80 from John Coe.
A TDR
on a
Exact-
Sunday deal.
yeah, a Sunday deal.
Yeah,
That's a
so
good
I got
bike.
I got my TDR 80 for $2,400 a couple years ago, and then it was one of those things where I'm not allowed to have nice things; they make me nervous. Like so I ended up selling it, but it was this beautiful unicorn, and it was so
Oh, yeah.
special to have that be my first motorcycle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the trick with, I'm always shocked by people like John Coe who come in
Yeah.
from the West Coast
Yeah.
and they will truck across 15 or 18 states to get to Mid Ohio and lose a trailer, lose trailer tires,
Yeah,
lose
and he
this,
just
lose
keeps
that.
going. He had
Our friend-
one year he
Yeah.
changed every tire. Every tire. He went flat on his way. On
Between
his
4
Taco-
tires
his,
on the tow
Tundra.
vehicle and all 4 tires on the trailer, he bought them all.
Yep.
Our friend Joe Casola had somebody use his trailer as a launch ramp into the back of his classic van, his classic station wagon, on his way to one of these swap meets, and he's like, but I keep coming back, because this is my Burning Man. This is my church. This is where I go. Joe Casola right now is in Wauseon. Do you know what Wauseon is? It's mid-Ohio for the Harley and Triumph people, right?
Okay.
So Wauseon is out by Toledo, right?
Okay.
And that Wauseon swap meet is like mid-Ohio or like Barber, but it's basically, it swings more British and it swings more Harley.
Is it like still vintage or is it still
All
modern or
vintage.
is mixed?
No, in fact, you're not allowed to have anything on the property that's less than 30 years old.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
So it's a 30-year kind of thing. Yeah. Go ahead, Dan.
When I was there about 7 years ago, I think it was 80 or 90% Harley.
It was. And it tends to swing real strong USA. So Wauseon swings real strong USA, and it's USA vintage. So if you're one of these guys who likes the idea of the gentleman's ride across America on the American bikes and stuff, you're going to be at Wauseon. Now, for a couple of years, there was a bit of a rivalry between the AMA and everybody else, Will Stoner, that said Wauseon was the same weekend as AMA Vintage Days. Fucking Sophie's Choice.
It used to be, right?
It used to be. There were several years where it was that way, so people had to make the decision. And what a lot of people did was they went to Wauseon for Thursday and Friday, and they went to AMA Vintage Days for Saturday and Sunday. So this way you could kind of do both. Now, this weekend is Wauseon. Hey, if you got nothing better going on Saturday, Sunday they close up pretty early. So don't go in there on Sunday expecting to get the full experience.
Right.
Sunday you're going to be the salmon swimming upstream. Everybody's going to be leaving the grounds. You're going to be trying to get in on Sunday. But if you can get up there on Saturday, check it out. It's really cool.
And Wauseon's a smaller show, too. It's on a county fairgrounds.
It is county
it's
fairgrounds.
maybe 10% of the size of Mid-Ohio.
No, we are lucky enough in our region. We have the Vintage Motorbike Show in Indiana, in Portland, Indiana, which is fantastic. That was the day after 4th of July started it.
That's the 5th of July.
I was there for that.
The 5th of July. Don't be there on the 4th. They won't let you in. So the 5th of July is for Portland, Indiana. If you like motorbikes, vintage motorbikes, and it's mini bikes and motorbikes and all kinds of cool shit.
That's why I took the Pelfrey.
Yeah, nice,
Sweet.
good
Yeah,
job.
no, yeah. He sent me
I
a
was
beautiful photo
sending
from
her
it.
pictures because that's why she trued the wheel so I could take it to Portland and ride it around.
Go ride
Yeah.
around in Portland.
Yep.
And we live in a very interesting part of America. For many, many years, Ohio was the number 2 state for motorcycling in these 50 United States. So California was number 1 and we were number 2. Being number 2 when Texas and Florida and everything exists is kind of amazing. But the trick is property's cheap in Ohio and you have disposable income for motorcycles.
Yes.
And they changed the ruling in the mid-90s to say, okay, it's not motorcycles, it's registered motorcycles.
Ooh.
And then Ohio was like, well, fuck that. I got 90 unregistered motorcycles in my garage. And we instantly became 3. Like,
They-
we instantly went to number 3 or number 4.
They counted the motorcycles on Vintage Weekend.
Yes, exactly.
They counted the motorcycles in Phil's warehouse.
So it's absolutely true. Like, I know a lot of people that own, who at this table owns more than 5 motorcycles? Right? That's
5
amazing.
projects. Do mopeds count?
Yes, they count. Of course they run. Is it a motor? Does it have 2 wheels? Then it
Okay,
counts.
fair.
Yeah. So if you have more than 5,
Yeah.
you are disproportionate.
You stop counting in the 20s.
We had a rule at
I'm only
60.
at 4.
I told
That's 60.
I told both Renee and Merritt. There was a time when I got to 60, and I said we are no longer allowed to count these. These aren't inventory. These are things that are in my fucking collection.
Was that a family decision?
No, it was me saying I just can't stare this. I can't stare the devil in the face anymore and be like, I have 60 bikes to sell, right?
Yeah.
Because after 5, they're no longer fun to have kicking around. If you're like, okay, if I can do 1 project a year, I only have to live to be 130, right?
This is why you brought me in.
You have 71 bikes yourself. Okay, all right. At least 17 in his garage.
The problem with owning more than like 5 bikes is maintenance.
You can't,
just
right.
just general maintenance, like
Oh, man.
winterizing, especially like in
We have a lot of
Cleveland,
British friends who
where
have
it's-
1 motorcycle, and it's amazing.
Right.
It's the best
If you
motorcycle
have
you've
one
ever
motorcycle, it's real easy to take care of.
If you have multiple motorcycles, some of them with multiple carburetors, by the time you get one carburetor clean and you move to the next, well, when you clean the last carburetor, it's time to start the first one.
Hey,
oh, did I
Sleepy.
put this battery on a tender, or did
What
I
happened
do the
a couple
battery?
of years ago after you went out to the garage and none of the carburetors?
Oh, dude, I got sold bad gas, and like all my vintage bikes, I went from like every year putting like what I thought was recreational gas, which I went to the place. It was in Sullivan. The one place I usually go is out. I went to Sullivan, $5 a gallon for recreational fuel. I filled up 25 gallons of it. Came home.
It was just enough to murder 6 bikes.
Dude, I emptied all the gas out of all the tanks. So this is a time process, right? Put that into the truck because the truck doesn't give a shit about what kind of gas it has. And I filled all the tanks. Right. And I'm like, there you go, guys. Good night. I'll see you in March. Yep. Came out in March, and I opened the first one, and I got the whiff of not fresh gas, and I'm like, oh, no.
My new policy is I'm draining the float bowls. I'm going to undo the drains, and I'm literally going to shut the tap off and drain the float bowls.
That's a good idea.
There's an easier method than that would just be to turn off the fuel gauge when it's running.
Every little single drop.
Oh, Lordy, okay. That's dedication.
It might stall. It might stall before
I'm gonna puff,
that last little sip.
I'm gonna
puff carbon monoxide into the carburetors and make sure there's nothing in there at all.
I was really cool 2 years ago. I had this one old Lambretta, 1958 Lambretta. I'm like, you know what? I may or may not ride this next year, but I just brimmed it with ethanol-free rec gas. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to ride it. Now, every bike in my world, I shut the fuel taps off and drive them until they die, right? So now I have a gasoline vessel up here, and I have no gasoline whatsoever below a certain point, right?
Right.
We're good. And then my last trick is I pull the spark plug out, fog the cylinder with whatever over-the-counter agent, WD-40 or better in there. That's my jam. It's what I do. And then I do the airbox as well. So I hit the airbox up because I have learned that mice will not go where WD-40 / whatever is.
Oh, nice.
They don't like it.
Great
right?
tip.
So you just fog all that shit, and the mice will leave it the hell alone. So you just fog, go crazy. WD-40's cheap. Hit it. Just hit it. And you're like, oh, but everything's going to be greasy and oily. WD-40 is fish oil, people. If you've ever eaten at Arthur Treacher's, you have WD-40 on your hands, right? It's fine. You can mainline that shit. Go for it.
I don't recommend it.
Yeah, I don't recommend it.
Don't do that.
No, your tongue tastes weird for about a week. But the long and short of it is, I did that 2 years ago.
I prefer brake cleaner.
Oh, yeah.
It'll clean the pipes.
49 states safe. Forget that California shit. I went out to my Lambretta and I gave it 2 shots of wolf juice, start you bastard. I gave it 2 shots in the airbox. I gave it 3 kicks. Taps are turned on. It ran through the wolf juice like it was meant to. And then when the gasoline hit it, it just was done. It was done. And it was basically that struggle, that struggle cuddle of when you're like, I'm just spraying starting fluid.
Yeah.
And I am now the carburetor.
Yes.
So I'm just like, kick it, and then I'm just like, I'm the fuel injection system.
Right.
Now look at this. Look at that. Good thing it's got top end lube in it, because this is now a 1-stroke engine. And I would just do that. And eventually I was like, well, and I pulled the carb out, and what came out of the bottom of that gas tank, for being ethanol free, for being, supposed to be safe, I got green jelly out of the bottom inch of my gas tank, and I was like, "Nope,
The
here we go."
bottom inch?
One of the worst.
1 inch.
One of the worst things
Why?
I've seen lately.
Condensation.
Yeah.
I'm attributing, even though I had the gas tank filled to touching the top,
You
the
fill
bottom
it so there's no air.
the bottom inch or so
The
was just
algae and nasty
it was
will
weird.
settle to the bottom of gasoline
The
no matter
color.
what.
The color green though
Green gas.
is very telling. And that color green is usually that you have some sort of organic water, whatever, right?
They
So
can tell,
you
they can
just
tell you it's
verified that I'm still kind of well off with my method
Mm-hmm.
of just drain and fill the gas tank,
Right.
put in a new spark plug, clean the carb in the spring, game on.
And go to
like,
town.
don't even waste your money
Go to
on
town.
all the stuff
Well,
and all the effort.
gasoline.
Just do it.
Gasoline
Just
will
give it
eventually
the-
turn this color green because it's literally it's algae.
Yeah.
It's just nasty green gas.
But depending on what year of the bikes and what seals and what gaskets are in there, if they
Right.
dry out, you
Yeah.
could be hosing yourself
Yeah.
too, because then in the spring you turn the gas on and it
Fair
just
enough.
runs on everything.
Oh, when I turned the
To be
fuel
fair,
tap
I'm
on the
coming from
Lambretta,
moped
Yeah.
I could hear all the rubber that turned into plastic going into the fuel line.
Yeah.
Well, the
So I turned the fuel tap and it went.
The other thing is,
And I went, oh, we're done.
The other thing is the metal that most new needles are made out of gets corroded in that, and it will either stick open or stick closed. That Elite 80 I worked on today,
that's a
it
good
stuck
example of
open.
it.
I'm convinced some of the green in the carburetor is just from the brass.
Could be.
Also true. It could be
Oxidation,
eating that.
brass, yeah.
I'll tell you what, man, that CB350 I fixed for that kid that left in my garage for 2 years again now.
Right.
I opened the gas tank on it because, like, he was like, I'm coming to get it. So
I'll be there
whatever.
next week.
Yeah,
right?
whatever. It's your fucking
Come and
problem,
get my
right?
shit.
It grew crystals of rust. It's not rust. It's fucking crystals.
No, it's
They're like,
crystals.
I think I can make a ring out of one of them. It's fucking amazing.
Oh, that black cat that I'm working on, the third black cat,
Yeah.
that entire gas tank was full of water.
Yeah, it's a hard life. It wasn't
it's
just
green, it was
This
white.
is what we do. If you choose to dick around with carburetors, you will choose to deal with weird shit. Like that is
Oh yeah,
part of the
that's
deal.
choice. That's like driving an automatic or
That
listening
is
to
it.
music on a record player. You
Yep.
choose life in the hard lane.
Yes, you do. You've made a decision. We respect you for it.
Yeah.
But also, we understand that there will be a point in your life where you're like, maybe 63 weird vehicles is not how I want to live my life. Maybe, I go into my garage and I walk past 14 arguably really cool motorcycles that I'm like, not going to run that because that's got 4 carbs I got to clean, and I'm just going by going, fun to look at, fun to look at. Fun to look at. No fun to look at, but fun to ride. And I just go down the row and I'm like, oh shit, I haven't ridden that one in a while. And occasionally I'll take a rip, like the other day. I took a rip on a bike from 1964 and I rode home and I was just like, oh my God, yeah, you forget, like a bone stock bike from 1964 is just a box of wiggles. Like everything is sloppy. There's nothing fine in the
That's
whole
all part
bike.
of the experience.
The whole machine is like, wow, I think these tires are shit. No, it's everything above the tires is shit, right? The tires are
brand new.
the tires are the best thing in the whole bike. Meanwhile, the bearings haven't lined up in 50 years.
Well, that's what I like when somebody hands you a bike to ride and you have to make the decision of whether to use the brakes or steer because it has a notch in the steering. And if you start using the brake and you compress it, then you get stuck in the notch.
Game
now
on.
you're going that way, and it's like
until I've at least ridden the bike around the block a couple of times.
Yeah.
I am rear brake only.
Yeah.
Very careful. Covering the clutch at all times, covering the rear brake, very careful. Because I ride bikes that people bring into my shop that are like, it just needs a tune-up.
I was gonna say, except
Yeah.
for
And
at
I
Mid-Ohio. At Mid-Ohio,
That's
you
you.
just jump on shit and whatever
I
happens,
found
happens.
a bike the other day that had the master link of the chain was a piece of wire run through 3 times.
That's a
that was the
potential
master
right
link.
there.
It's not
It had
stupid if it works.
It had an adjustable length chain
Right.
based on how much you tightened the wire. And I'm like, that's not great. But it showed up that way.
Maybe he thought he was racing and he was trying to safety wire it.
I just bought 2 CB350s. I tried to pawn them off on Chaffron.
Oh.
But I bought 2 of them for $350 a piece, buck a CC. One has a title.
Wow.
The other one was adjacent to the bike with the title. But I was like, I pushed them and I was like, these push nice. I love these 71s with the drum brake.
Yeah. Or
They
disc
push
brake.
nice.
70
And then I
miles
realized
brake.
there was no chain on either of them.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, I guess they push real good when there's no fucking chain on them.
That'll help.
Fair enough. Yeah, no chance. We're going to get those running. Honda Whisperer is going to get released on these bikes, and they're not going to have chains.
Right.
I'll tell you what, a CB350 carburetor is about my least favorite.
Yes, it is. Yeah. No, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That is.
I'm trying to get mine running.
Yeah. It's.
That is tough.
Again, that was some very advanced thinking that Honda had. They're like, look, we're going to make this perfect. We're going to put a CV carb on there. It's going to be the greatest thing ever. They were 5 years too early for themselves. They literally played themselves. They punked themselves right out.
Just find some SL 350 carbs and put them on there.
Right.
Round slides?
Yeah. The round slides. Absolutely. Round slides are great. Yeah. I got my CB750 back from Dustin, and I looked down at the rack, and I remembered, I was like, oh, it's an early CB. All those great, awesome carbs on it. Not a fucking diaphragm in sight. I was never so happy to see a whole rack and no diaphragms.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, there's hope for this bike. Yeah. It's coming back, baby. Yeah.
That's excellent.
So that's super fun. Did anybody today, whilst looking around, did anybody get amped up and be like, oh shit, these exist, I totally need to buy one of these bikes? Pete, I know you're going to say the Snow Runner, so we're just
No,
gonna,
I'm not. I'm going to say there's snow bike here that I want to own. I like to look at them. I'm happy with what I have.
You're happy with what you got.
I'm happily married to my motorcycle.
Chris, did you see anything you liked?
Nothing that I need.
You're cured of that.
Yeah.
Did you, Tim? What did you see?
Of snow ripping?
Nothing that you saw that you want to get involved in? Did you see anything you want to get romantically involved in, Tom?
So Greg's going to correct me on this.
Yes.
But the biker who looks like a Mustang with the seat pan,
Yeah.
that thing has a really... What's that?
Talking to the mic. You
Talking
turn
about-
your face
oh.
when you talk.
So that thing has a really amazing leather strap brake on the clutch setup. That thing is real cool. I don't know. I figured it was one of yours.
So no, that's not the brake. You actually pull that lever and you can adjust the whole motor tilts to give more RPMs
Tension
or more.
on the belt?
Yeah, we can go look at it. That's
Oh
why-
my
No, it's
So
pretty
manually
amazing.
operated torque converter.
I was going to say a human
That's basically
variant.
what it is. It's a belt drive.
Human variator.
That's what it is.
It is. Listen, so it's a belt drive, right? But you pull that lever, and you can put more tension on the
Right.
belt, but it moves the whole motor
Right.
and everything.
So because the motor gives you the dynamic force.
Right. And you were talking about like folding bikes and everything.
Yeah.
We got the De Blasies, the
Yeah.
Go
Got the
Devils.
Go Devils, yeah.
Even the Snow Runner, you know that thing comes apart. right?
Absolutely. Yep.
It comes apart.
Yeah, it does.
It will go in your trunk.
Yep. It will go in the trunk of
That
your car.
bike that you're talking about right there,
Yeah.
that's called a Powell Challenger. It was made in like the late 60s in California. The front end has a wing nut.
I
Right?
see it.
On the triple
Yeah,
tree.
right on the triple tree. Right.
Where, and that bike doesn't have it. Usually they're all gone. There was a quick disconnect on the throttle.
Okay.
The front end would come out with a wing nut. You
All
would
right.
take that off. The whole front end would come off. Even the seat usually would have a wing nut that just come off the seat. You know,
Right.
so basically that whole bike would dismantle, and you'd put it in the trunk of your car just like that.
Yeah.
That bike also has a rudimentary swing arm rear suspension too.
It's a monoshock. That's one of
Yep.
that's like literally one of the only
And the-
mini bikes.
and
Now,
that's a Powell.
There was a moto skeeter, a moto scooter or motor skeeter. I think it was called a skeeter that had a two. It was. It had a two.
a motor skeet all over
Well,
this
it's like
thing.
it's like
It
a
had-
Combat Wombat.
It is like
It had a two-stroke.
Yeah.
I forget what it was like. You know, two-stroke little Clinton motor on it, but it had a monoshock. But it was on the seat post. There was a shock on the seat post, so it was a monoshock. But that one, the whole, swing arm is on a monoshock. And if you go look at the sprocket, it's part of the hub.
Right,
So
I
when
noticed
you
that,
lose
yeah.
teeth on that sprocket,
Right,
you got to
it's
get
done.
on a hub. Yeah, it's cast aluminum.
It's
You're
done.
not going to find it anywhere. I think it may even be
They
magnesium.
didn't build them for the long run.
No, that
Yeah.
thing is super hard to find parts for.
Yeah.
That's actually the deluxe seat. They actually
That's
made,
the deluxe seat?
They
Are
made-
you fucking shitting me?
That's the
that
seat,
seat
yeah.
is designed by the Marquis de Sade.
the other seat you could get. It was basically just a big rectangle that had like a pad on it. But that's a deluxe seat.
Fuck that. That seat is a sex crime.
that that motorcycle that we're talking about, or mini bike,
Yeah.
is the prime example of I love to look at it. I wouldn't want to own it or
No
ride
way.
it, but
Right.
it really like
Yeah.
If you
Looking
look
at
up,
the-
there's a couple of different
It
mini
does look
bike
cool.
guides, advertisements, where guys race those in California. There's pictures guys jumping those 2-3 feet off the ground. Wow. The suspension
Man.
on those for a kid was actually really good.
Leave it to me to pick the most
You
complicated
did
thing.
pick the weirdest fucking thing here.
Oh,
Absolutely.
that's a pretty rare bike right there.
Yeah, when I was looking at it, I was actually going after your Chevron tired high flotation moon buggy mini bike, the one that you wanted to take to Mid Ohio.
That one is an all original 1970 Trapper mini bike that was made in Michigan, Livonia, close to Livonia.
I like the gratuitous use of glittery fiberglass.
It literally is all original. Like
Yeah.
the paint, the motor. The only thing I changed on it was the petcock and the fuel line.
I have a TR6R that's exactly that same color.
Those tires are original.
Oh, are they really?
Yes.
Wow.
That's how nice that bike is.
That's
It even if you
fantastic.
look at the gas tank, all the original
Right.
like caution decals,
All the
everything
stuff's
is
there.
all on it.
Does anybody else found a bike they want to go home with, or they would literally take from the displays
Nick.
here?
Yeah, what do you
Nick.
got?
What do you got, Nick?
It was that 80cc Sachs.
Yes.
The
The
first one.
Widowmaker.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Widowmaker.
the
That
Speedway.
thing spoke to me.
Speedway bike.
Well, the
Spoke
funny
to me
sto-
on a deep level.
the funny story about that one was I was buying that. I got that Yamaha CS5, the 200 purple, and yeah, you saw the purple and white one. And I'm in Warren, Ohio, and I'm buying this bike from the guy, And he takes me into his basement. He's got a Yamaha shop, dealership, and everything.
That's how most of those stories start. This guy took
he
me into his basement.
He took me into the basement, and he goes, let me show you some really cool mini bikes. And I
There
go,
were
mini
chains
bikes
everywhere.
Mini bikes?
No, that's my
All I
story. Remember
versus
my
the
story.
Big white van.
All I got to
right?
do is take my pants off.
Okay,
Two-stroke or four-stroke,
On
Greg?
Clark Avenue, I had a dude invite me in. I was going to buy rollers when I raced bicycles.
Yeah.
The dude was like, yeah, let me show you the rollers. I saw the rollers and I kind of relaxed.
Yeah.
So he gives me the rollers. He's like, I think I got some other stuff you might be interested in. We go upstairs and he's got a staircase that goes upstairs. And on the staircase, there are mannequins that are consistently dressed in less and less clothes and then get into bondage gear. And then I go into the next room and he's got a table of fucking chainsaws.
Listen, when did this become Penthouse Magazine?
You have a chainsaw collection.
When did this When did this become the BDSM podcast?
I did the
And
fucking
then at the very
nice to
end,
meet
that
you.
mini bike sitting right up top.
Yeah,
there.
right. But I was like, nice to meet you. I'm just taking my little rollers here. I'm going to exit out the back.
I'm out for the Speedway bike.
I am.
That's a good move. Lizzie, is there anything you saw?
No, yeah, I love.
Overstimulated.
It's the guy with the white seat with the
Yes,
tiny,
the super tiny 4-inch wheels.
What is that?
That little thing is adorable.
Suitcase scooter.
I don't even know.
I have no idea, but it's freaking adorable.
There's one
is what it is, and that little tiny bike, and that thing would be just decimated by any speed bump ever, anywhere.
Absolutely, you'd be in trouble.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that
You
thing.
hit a curb. It's like hitting a
Kromke,
brick
did you
wall.
see anything you like? Anything you want to own?
You know, I kind of like that. It's a trail, Hunter Trail. It looks like the perfect mid-Ohio bike.
Oh,
Giant
really?
balloon tires on it.
Yeah, you're right.
What do you mean?
Hunter
Kind
Trail.
of a weird, sparkly
That's the one.
fiberglass
Oh yeah, that's
body.
what we were
the
just
big
talking
tire,
about. Yeah, that's also my pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sleepy, did you see anything you loved here?
I like everything.
Yeah.
I like that Harley. To be honest with you, that Harley behind you is awesome. I've always kind of wanted one of those, but they're always so fucked up that
Well,
I
that's
never
the
bought
Shortster.
one.
That's
a
the
legit
X90.
Shortster.
Yeah.
Because there was two different models, the X90 and the Shortster, and one of them was not as good as the other one.
The
I think it was a
Shortster was not
That
as
was
good.
the 65cc
Yeah,
one.
it's a
They made
65
90cc
Shortster. The
with
90s.
90, yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Just
65
you never
Shortster.
see them though without rust on every.
Right.
But have you
surface and-
have you seen the how that the shifting linkage works on that?
No, I have to look at
You
it.
should check out the shifting linkage, and when you figure out that like it's a nightmare, you'll stay away from that. bike.
Okay.
It looks cool.
Anybody else got any?
Hey,
John?
I mean, you know, not to tout it, but the TNT 135 still looks good to me.
I know a guy
It'll
that
get
can
you
sell you
home.
one.
It'll be available in October.
Oh, right now all the TNT 135s are 3,300. Bring cash.
I was looking at that blue-gray Honda Dax.
Yes. Well,
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Right behind
That's
me.
a
Right
fun bike.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And it'll bring an entire podcast.
I was going to
Very
say
high
it will
load
it will
capacity.
bring all the podcasts.
Yeah.
I didn't notice. The thing has sat in the showroom for 6 months. I have never seen that Dachshund sticker,
Oh, really?
and it's hysterical.
My whole problem is I don't know whether to call it a Dax or a Dox.
Yeah.
Both.
We're in the Midwest. It's Dax.
That was exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, if we say Akron, we got to say Dax.
Yeah.
Because I know it's short for Dachshund, you know? And like, yeah.
And if I, bringing it around to falconry, we fly our birds over dachshunds a lot, and they're doxies.
They're Dachshunds.
So, yep.
Right, they're Dachshunds.
So I'll go with the soft A. The
Soft
dox.
day, Dox. I like the Dox. All right, guys, that was literally a podcast at a museum.
With rotating members.
With
I think we're up to
rotating
like
staff.
17 or 18 people now.
We're
I don't even know.
including.
Oh, yeah, look at
And you want to limit it to
Hey,
8.
Sleepy, look who just showed up.
I see this. It just keeps
Look what
coming.
Just Moto
What
have.
did you do today?
Worked and then drove
And what
up
did you
here
do
and walked
yesterday?
worked and then drove up and bought a bike.
They literally showed up at my shop yesterday. I thought they were just showing up to bullshit or whatever. And they're like, no, we're buying a bike. And they legitimately bought a bike yesterday at the shop.
That
And
rules.
it's funny because I never know what's going to happen. I show up at work every day like an idiot.
What bike did
And
they get?
They got a 200cc fuel-injected Rattler.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah, they got a 70-mile-an-hour scooter.
The one,
Yeah.
the one sitting near the front door.
This is cool.
Yeah.
Rip
Yeah.
that on the
Yeah.
shoreway.
Yeah, it's a Rattler. Right, it's a Rattler. They're terrifyingly fast.
Well, went up to look at the Black Cat.
Right,
originally.
they showed up to
Yeah.
get a Black Cat, and they left with 150 extra cc's.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And a fuel injector.
Happened.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I think that's a solid move.
Yeah, that's a win.
I can only imagine how difficult your job is right now. It's sleepy. The only one with headphones to monitor levels. Good luck.
My fingers hurt. I've been sliding this knob so much.
I was in the car and I kept turning it down. I was like, I'm getting sensory overload. I can't handle it.
It's like being here. Yeah, it is literally like being on the table. Yeah. It was fun. Yeah, this is great. It's the first time we ever did this, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah, this is an awesome exhibit. Yeah,
it's a good time.
This is my first time to the museum at all. It's awesome. I think anyone within driving distance should come check it out for sure.
What makes it awesome for me, because I was into like airplanes forever, is that Cleveland had such a rich history of airplane racing. It's gone, but they represent it. Like you can see all these planes that
the Thompson air races were a really big deal.
Yeah, I was working at a car dealership in the early 2000s, and I was surprised by the posters that the owner had on the wall about the Burke Lakefront air races. So that's a great.
And I mean, like people would they said the crowds sometimes were 250,000 people to see them because you were almost guaranteed somebody was dying. So
you got that going for you.
Yeah.
We don't have any more Romans, gladiators, or chariots, but by God, we can race those World War II surplus airplanes.
And well, it's not even that.
Order.
Did you go look at them? They're built out of balsa wood and tissue paper, dude. They're not. There's nothing structural about
motor transportation system. Yeah. There are many triangles. Shit tons of cloth and dope. Yeah. That's cool. All right. Well, if nobody has anything else, we're going to see you guys at AMA Vintage Days. Remember, folks.
Wait, does Smith have a joke?
Did you bring one?
Actually, I do.
Oh my God, he's going to land a joke in the Dropper's Auto Museum.
Let's go.
Look, there can only be one, so it has to be a good one.
I still won a major award for having 18 people on a podcast.
Yeah, we did.
Nuts.
Anybody in the
Absolutely
community
nuts.
knows that's not possible.
No. This one's called the pig with the wooden leg.
The pig with the wooden leg.
Okay. A guy visits a friend who's a farmer and sees him sitting on the front porch chewing a strand of wheat and petting a pig with a wooden leg. They get to talking, and the friend asks the farmer about the pig's leg. It's the craziest thing, says the farmer. There was this fire a few weeks back in the old barn next to the house. I was lost in the smoke, searching for my way out, when the central support beam collapsed, pinning me down. I was going to die, but suddenly, through a thick haze, I see this pig rushing toward me. She manages to wedge her body under the beam and with all her might lifts the load enough for me to shimmy my body out, and we both run to safety. Wow, that's some incredible story, says the friend, but it still doesn't explain the wooden leg. Well, with a pig like that, you don't want to eat the whole thing at once.
My friend, that was on that. I say, ride fast and take chances. Play us out here, Johnny.
Bum, 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 bum.
All right.